Hey, folks, happy Sunday. Welcome back to that horror movie podcast. And tonight I have a special guest who I just happened upon about a month ago. It was like fate that I met Rob here. So this is Rob Prichard, famous for being in the Toxic Avenger, Class of Nuke Em High. And actually, if you go to his IMDb, director, cinematographer, been in a bunch of movies. And I had the pleasure of meeting him. And I said, look, I'd love to have you on and just chat about your career and just whatever pops up. And he was gracious enough to join us tonight. So what's up, Rob?
Hey, how are you? Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, so the story, for those that don't know the story, I was seeing John Carpenter last month, and I was in Queens, New York, and I said, I've always wanted to do the Warriors location, so I got my Warriors vest and shirt on tonight in honor of it. And I just happened to, it was Pat that works there, right? His name's same as mine, Pat.
Right.
So he was showing me, and another friend of his whose name is escaping me, some of the locations, and I told me I do a horror podcast or whatnot. He's like, oh, you got to meet my friend inside. My friend Rob. I go, why? He's like, did you ever see Toxic Avenger? I'm like, yeah. Did you ever see Class of Nuke Em High? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, a bunch of other trauma films. I'm like, yeah. And lo and behold, that's how I met Rob.
Yeah.
And it was great.
I tend bar at Coney Island, USA, off and on. In the summer, I work there. I work for the Sideshow. So I'm old. So I'm actually officially retired. These are like gigs to keep me busy,
Yeah.
Get out in the world. I'm not just don't want to hang around inside all day, so yeah. I'm Coney Island, USA is kindred spirits.
Yeah, I had a blast down there. Rob was gracious, Pat was, and a few other people there were telling me where some of the locations were and some of the locations that were gone, which is a little disappointing that you couldn't see. And I always thought that the beach scene was there at the very end, but somebody there said, no, it's up in the Rockaways, which made sense when I went back and looked at it, because if you look behind them, there's a giant sandbar with grass. There's no sandbar with grass in Coney Island that I've seen.
Right.
So I was like, oh man, I thought I was going to get the scene from the beach, but I didn't get it.
Yeah. So if you were to do a double feature with the Warriors, what do you think the second movie should be?
Ooh, that's a really good question. Oh, you got me stumped on that one.
All right. I would nominate Escape from New York.
Oh, yes. How did I even think of that? I was just watching it the other night, because I put together a video of the footage I shot at the Carpenter show. So I had that actually here on this channel, and I went and watched Escape from New York. I guess it's been a minute since I watched it, but that's a great double feature right there.
Yeah. So yeah, speaking of double features, they just combined, Toxic Avenger 2 and 3 into Mr. Melvin and made it one movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Can you buy it like on disc that way or stream it somewhere?
Yeah, they're re-releasing it and they re-edited it and they put it together as one movie.
That's
And
fun.
now and they did that like recently. It's like it's a new thing. But you know who's doing the same thing now? Kill Bill.
Oh, that I did hear. Yes, because I did hear about that, because we actually had Chris Nelson on, who did the effects, and he was in that. He was actually on the show a while ago, and we met him through Halloween convention and a friend of mine. But I remember hearing about that they were putting them together, and I put it out in the theater too.
That's right. It's good. It's getting a theatrical release, and Mr. Melvin got a theatrical release too. They were showing it actually this summer out at Mahoning in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, Mahoning Drive-In. Yeah, I've been up there for a few horror conventions.
They showed Mr. Melvin there.
Oh man, I would have went if I didn't see that. Damn it, what's wrong? I'm missing all this stuff.
So yeah, so Kill Bill now is going to get a new theatrical release with the two movies combined. So I like, it makes me smile because I feel like, wow, Lloyd did it first.
Mm-hmm. He did, and actually, right here, my friend Jeff said he just read about Mr. Melvin in Delirium magazine.
Yeah.
And Herbert says, "Hey, what's up, Herbert? My favorite Tromaville movie is Death by Temptation. Second favorite is Luther the Geek."
Yeah, I don't even know those movies.
There's so many trauma films. How many trauma films have you been in?
4 now. The first one was I did Toxic Avenger, then I did Class of Nuke Em High, and then back in 2013, I have a cameo in Return to Class of Nuke 'Em High Volume 1.
Mm-hmm.
And my character actually does a nod to the old Cretans in Class of Nuke 'Em High, because I actually sort of reword one of the lines from the original movie. I say I'm a cop and just before one of the new Cretans shoots me, kills me dead, I say, "What's up with the youth of America today?"
Nice.
Which was Rick Howard's line in the original Class of Nuke 'Em High. I think he says, "We are the youth of America."
We are, I think, yeah.
And I go, "What's up with the youth of America today?" And then I get shot. So that was the third one. And then the fourth one, it's going to be a Troma release. It's not Troma produced, but it's in the Troma universe. And it's called Slaughter at Camp Swine Lake. And David Green wrote and directed it. And originally he just wanted me to be an Easter egg cameo in the film. But we got to chatting over the phone, and I guess we had a good connection. So he asked me to actually read for one of the lead roles. So I sent in a video audition, and he cast me. I'm opposite Debbie Rochon, and we play the owners of a weight loss camp, and the evil owners of a weight loss camp. And the protagonist is a big girl who plays hockey for the Tromaville Cretans. And the logo of the Tromaville Cretans hockey team is my old character, Spike, from Class of Nuke 'Em High, with a hockey stick.
With the hockey stick? Nice.
Yeah. And so the napkin, back of the napkin synopsis of this movie is the camp has a mascot who's cursed. And of course, Debbie and I don't know that our swine mascot named Orville is cursed. So when we have Orville slaughtered because we need meat for the opening day barbecue, we unleash terror, because everyone who has a piece of that meat turns into a pig zombie. Hijinks ensue.
And when is this coming out?
I just saw a rough cut at Troma Dance, like in October. Was it October or September? And they had everything good to go except for the special effects. So I imagine it'll be done by the end of the year, and then it's just has to do with how they want to time the release and where they're going to release it.
So how close are you with Lloyd? Are you still close with him? Are you still talk to him at all?
We actually hung out at Mahoning this summer on the ride back. We shared the ride back from Mahoning to New York, and so I had a good 3-hour conversation with him that evening. He's great. He's pulled me into certain events here and there. I've done some screenings. I just did a voiceover commentary for the new 4K release of Class of Nuke 'Em High, so I'm sure that wouldn't have happened without his blessing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we're I don't know. Do you know who Dylan Greenberg is?
Dylan Greenberg. I probably know better by face. The name does sound familiar.
She's a musician and a filmmaker, and she works at Troma in the office, and she does music videos. And she called me in last summer, or summer before last, actually, and we were in Lloyd and I were in one of her music videos.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool.
That's cool. You staying close to him. He looks like I've seen him at horror conventions, but one of these days I got to go up and meet him.
Oh yeah, you got to. He's actually really erudite. This is a really intelligent man, Lloyd. You can have some really good, interesting conversations with him.
I bet. Did they approach anybody in the original Toxic Avenger to do any type of cameos in the one that was just released with Peter Dinklage?
Yeah, Cynthia Mannion said she was approached, but she couldn't do it because she was taking care of her dad. So they didn't ask any of the rest of us.
That would have been, yeah. I was trying to look to see if I would see anybody in it, because it's such a beloved, like,
Yeah,
classic movie. I'm like, why not bring a few people back and just even in different character roles, just to say,
yeah.
hey, look who it is.
They refer to Bozo because that's actually
That's what's his name's character?
yeah,
I can't remember. I forget his name. Oh,
yeah. I'm senior moment now. Kevin Bacon. No, yeah, was it Kevin Bacon?
no. Let me bring it up real quick. His name.
We got Orlando Bloom. We got Peter Dinklage. Who's the third one?
Oh, as that's basically playing his character, you're saying?
Yeah, that's Bozo. Yeah, it's not Kevin Bacon. I confuse those guys. Ah,
I know, I forget too. I'd have to look it up myself. Somebody in the chat, if you want, look it up. Yeah, I'm thinking myself. I mean, we talked about it when I was at the bar chatting with you. I had fun with it. I was a little bit surprised that I liked it more than I thought I would have, because I was like, nothing against Peter Dinklage, but to me, it just sounded a little bit too different what they were doing with it. But it's not as good as the first one, the original rather.
well,
But it was fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
I told people, just watch it. It doesn't have a lot of rewatchability, but it wasn't bad.
yeah, I enjoyed it. I actually had a good time.
Yeah.
It's its own movie. I think Lloyd might be in it somewhere.
He is in it. I remember his cameo in it. Yep.
Yeah, and Mark Torgel is mentioned. Both the name Torgel is mentioned, and also Melvin Ferd. His character's name is also mentioned.
Yes.
And those are the really blatant. And then they had that shoot 'em up in the fast food restaurant, which was obviously an homage to the first movie.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, there's also Nuke 'Em High homage. They have Cretans,
Right.
They're that rock band.
Mm-hmm.
That electro clash rock band. So there was that. Here's a funny story. The last time I was actually at the Tromaville offices in Long Island City to shoot the video for Dylan with Lloyd, I'm sitting there and I'm chatting with Michael Hers, and I'm asking him, "Hey, Michael, have you seen Stranger Things?" And he goes, No, I haven't." Well, because season 2, there's all kinds of Toxic Avenger Easter eggs in the 6th episode. He goes, "Oh, really?" I go, "Yeah." Billy, the heavy, he chases a bunch of kids with his muscle car, and they're riding bikes, and he's trying to run them down. And then later on, Billy's doing working out, and he's doing pull-ups while he's smoking a cigarette. Michael pauses a second, and he looks at me and he goes, "So, are you trying to tell me I should be suing Stranger Things?"
It's like, no. That's Stranger Things. I started watching the first season with my daughter because she was like, "Dad, you would love this. It's everything you like." And I started watching it, and I've yet to finish the rest of the seasons. I have to get back into it, but I have to look for that one now because that's pretty funny.
Yes, season 2, episode 6. There's total Toxic Avenger Easter eggs all over the place.
Well, then again, somebody could turn around and say, because if you think of it, the scene in Toxic Avenger where Bozo is driving the car and you guys are mowing down the people, that's basically Death Race 2000.
Yeah, right.
And you had the point system for who you're hitting. I'm like, it's basically the same thing too.
Yeah. I just saw for the first time ever, like last summer, I'd never seen it before. Rock and Roll High School.
Oh, you just saw that for the first time, really?
Yeah, with the Ramones.
With the Ramones, right?
Yeah. I'd never seen it, and I watched that, and I went, "Oh my God, this is Class of Nuke 'Em High. Look at what we ripped off." Because all the crowd scenes in the hallways of the high school, just like Class of Nuke 'Em High.
Class of Nuke 'Em High. Yep. And I actually rewatched because I'm really familiar with the Toxic Avenger. I hadn't seen Class of Nuke 'Em High in a while, so I did rewatch that this week, the first two, and it's still so much fun. Now Now, what I'm trying to always place the locations. Where did you guys film all those? Because I'm always trying to place by the way the Twin Towers were. It looks like you're on the west side rather than the east side.
Nuke Em High was shot in New Jersey, and I don't remember the name of the town.
Because you see the towers in the back, and it looks like Jersey City.
It's not Jersey. It might be.
Because Jersey City back then was had a lot of industrial stuff until now. Now Jersey City looks like it's all high rises and then businesses there. But back in the day, I guess my mother's side of the family grew up in Hoboken, so we used to be down there a lot. And I remember a lot of open land, and I'm like, it looks like Jersey City.
Yeah, it could be. I don't remember. It's like 30, 40 years ago.
Yeah, no, I don't remember what I did yesterday. People ask me, but just odd though. My wife yells at me because she's like, "You don't remember anything I said to you this morning?" But she's like, "You can remember like a movie from like 50 years ago and everything about it." But I'm like, "What'd you say before?" Yeah.
There you go.
Yep, it just goes. It's horrible. But let's see. This is Jefferson. They shot. So what? They shot it in Argentina. The new one, is that where they shot the new Toxic Avenger? I know they shoot a lot of stuff in Romania.
Shot it in Bulgaria.
Oh, Bulgaria.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why the casting, the cameo casting ideas. Yeah, because there's a lot of, I guess, local people. Because I know that seems to be the thing to do because it's so cheap to shoot out there that they do shoot a lot of stuff out there.
Yeah, like the town Tromaville in the new one. It's a Bulgarian village, and you can see, that it's a completely different system for like how they build a sidewalk, how they how light switches look on the wall, things like that. It's like it's Eastern Europe. It's not
Right.
the United States.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's completely different.
Slasher Fred said the title of Class of Nuke 'Em High feels like a sci-fi version of Class of 1984, and of course, Mark L. Lester had turned the original movie into a sci-fi future world for the sequel.
Yeah, I haven't seen Class of 1984.
It's a good one. Yeah, it's worth watching. You'll see a lot of parallels.
I'm sure. Yeah, that's great information. I should check that out. Yeah. Hanging out at doing the cameo in Return to Class of Nuke 'Em High Volume 1 was a lot of fun. I got to hang out with Ron Jeremy.
Nice.
He's a history buff.
He's actually very intelligent. He was very well educated and just basically fell into porn.
Yeah, he's like a really he loves history and he loves to discuss it. We talked for hours about like the Civil War and stuff.
Yeah, I've heard he was very well educated. He just basically, I guess he was well endowed and fell into it and made money.
Yeah.
Hey,
and
waking up from digging a ditch.
What I really love about that movie is that Lemmy's in it.
Yeah, God, we miss Lemmy.
Yeah, I mean I think that's fantastic. Lemmy and his big bong.
Yeah, when I went out to California, I guess 2 years ago now, because I told you how I could do. I'm the Halloween collector, and we went out to I went to the Sunset Strip, and you go to the Rainbow Bar, and they have the Lemmy Lounge because that's where he used to hang out like every day. So when he passed, they named it the Lemmy Lounge. And they have this big life-size statue of him there.
Wow,
and it was great to see it. And my wife, she's like, "Why do you want to go to this Rainbow Bar so bad?" And I said, "Well, first of all, if you've never heard the Rainbow Bar and Grill, it's famous for all the rock stars hanging out at it." And I said, "I want to go to the Lemmy Lounge. There's a Lemmy Lounge there. Come on, let's go." And my wife, this is like downstairs in my house, and when I say I'm going to, she's like, "Just go down to your world. Go." Yeah. I don't want to know nothing about it.
The funny thing about living in New York City is you bump into celebrities and stars, rock stars, movie stars, actors, actresses, literary, people. It happens all the time. Like I remember in the 80s when I used to work out in free weight gym, powerhouse gym.
Mm-hmm.
One time it was just me and David Lee Roth. We were the only two in there, and I didn't say anything to him. Except dude nod, like, yeah, I know who you are, but I'm not, I didn't hassle him about. But here's, spoiler alert: he works out wearing spandex and no shirt.
I can believe it. I can so believe it.
Absolutely no different than what he does, how he is on stage, and his hair was perfect.
My friend Fred, Slasher Fred says, "Hey, Rob, did you ever think the Toxic Avenger would become a cult classic because it was followed by many sequels and a superhero cartoon series spinoff?"
Absolutely not. I had no idea, and I did. I started noticing actually, in the 80s when they started making the spin-offs, in the late 80s when they started doing the other movies. I went, oh, okay, they're getting a franchise going. That's cool, but there wasn't a big demand for like Mark or me and Gary or anybody to show up anywhere at a horror con or anything like that. That nobody was asking us to do stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Mark started getting into that about, I think, 15 years ago. But Gary and we just did our first one last year.
I was going to say, because I'm surprised because I would have recognized, because it's because I go to a lot of horror conventions and I
Right.
definitely would have seen. I'm trying to remember anybody from the Toxic Avenger, the original being. I mean, I remember Lloyd Kaufman being at a few, and I didn't get a chance to meet him, but I don't remember any of the alum from any of the films.
They used to do, like, starting with when they did Return to Class of Nuke 'Em High, then they did a big push like for cons. They did like a few years in a row where they had a table at New York Comic Con,
Mm-hmm.
and they actually took the whole cast to cons, and they did a big fundraiser like so all the Nuke 'Em High kids went to cons. And then there's a documentary about that Lloyd's daughter made.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That'd be cool to check out, because last year would have been the year to do it.
Yeah.
It's 40th anniversary.
Yeah. Well, next year is the 40th anniversary of Class of Nuke 'Em High.
Nuke 'Em High. Yes.
That's why they're doing the 4K re-release.
See, that's why they got to get you guys all out on the convention circuit for the 40th. There'd be a lot of people, especially with the 4K. People will be buying them and want you guys to sign them.
Yeah. Yeah. That from your lips to God's ear.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah, we'll talk to Lloyd, because I'm sure he could make it happen. Talk to some people. Just, hey, let's go. It's just, hey.
Well, the Trauma team goes to conventions all the time.
Right, because I do see it.
But there were the first Toxic Avenger cast reunion at a con was a year ago in September. It was the Erie Horror Convention in Strongville, Ohio. The same place where they did Creature. What was it? Senior moment again. But it's the same place where another Ohio convention happened at the,
Mhm.
at the same. In fact, it's at the same Best Western Hotel even. And we did that one too. We just did that one in October. Gary and I did Mahoning for the Nuke 'Em High screening this past summer, and then we also did one at a place called Haunting in the Hills, which was a fantastic place. It's a horror house that is really like one of the best things ever, with live actors coming at you. You walk through it, and
Oh, fun. Where was that?
It's in the Irish Hills in Michigan, just west of Detroit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Inkmare is the name of the company that Clint has. That he makes toys and he prints up shirts. So like if you see these Tromaville Health Club shirts, those are Inkmare products. He also created these really great Class of Nuke 'Em High joints that are like toys. Let me see if I can find one real quick. Hang on.
Yeah, good. That's awesome.
See if I have one.
He was saying hello up here in the chat. Hey, Desiree, what's up, man?
Sorry, I didn't see that.
Oh, yes. A friend of mine does a podcast as well. He's just saying what's up. And say it's awesome to see a Troma alum on the show.
Hey, yeah, all right. Yeah, no, I don't have it handy. I should have thought about this before. But yeah, he made these joints, and Gary and I signed the, they're like there's a bubble with a joint in it, and then there's like the Class of Nuke 'Em High poster behind the whole thing. That's Gary and I autographed those.
Oh, that's awesome. I'd love to see one of those. That's great.
They're pretty cool.
My friend Bill says, "What's up?" He said, "What's up, Rob? Hails and cheers."
Hey, hi, how's it going?
See what else everybody's saying in chat that we'll catch up and we'll just keep going. Cody said he met Ron McKay years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. I met Ron on a set of Return to Class of Nuke 'Em High.
Jeff says Troma is always up here at Shockstock or Frightmare in the Falls. Jeff's right over the border. He's up in Canada. So I'd love if they brought Rob and others up for the occasion. Yeah, because next year would be the perfect opportunity to do it.
Let them know. Tell them.
Yeah, right. Get them in there. Let's go. Hey, what's up, Andy? He says, what's up? I have a question for Rob. Who's the guy with the big nose ring and always had that high-pitched voice? Love that character.
Yeah, that was Brad. Brad Dunker. And he rode the motorcycle. He had the big bone.
Yes.
Yeah. He's amazing. I don't know what happened to him. He actually was one of the special effects guys at Troma. At one point, he was living in one of the, when they were on 9th Avenue in Manhattan, he was living in like one of the office spaces.
Oh, wow.
He was actually, camping out there. But he started out, helping them with special effects, and then they cast him in the movie, and he was brilliant. He was so much fun. That guy, he great energy, and really, I think he's one of the reasons that movie is successful. Is that guy right there? We got a lot of value every time he showed up on the screen.
I mean, granted, it's been over 40 years now with the Toxic Avenger, but do you keep in touch with anybody?
Well, Gary and I actually share a fan page on Facebook called Toxic Punks.
Oh, you told me about that. Yeah, I did look that up. Yep, folks, check that out. I'll put the description in this video after the fact. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Gary and I, also some, are putting ourselves out there as like, book us as a duo, because we share 2 movies together. He's in Class of Nuke 'Em High too. I see Mark now on occasion because we started doing these conventions, and that's when I see Cynthia and Jennifer. When we do these conventions, I see them as well.
How do they look now? Because they were good to go then.
Yeah, they stood. They
gracefully. Yeah,
very gracefully. They get more attention from the fans than we do when we all show up. They, they get longer lines at their table than we do at ours.
What about Melvin? I can't forget the guy who played Melvin.
Mark Torgel. Yeah, he's a star. He's doing conventions like all the time. He's very busy with this. He just got back from Germany.
How was he playing the part? Was he like Weird Al playing the geeky guy in it, or did he?
He was,
he was so good. He was great.
Yeah, he's terrific. I had that one Mop Boy scene with him. I think that's the one scene I had with him was when we're in the hot tub.
In the hot tub, yep.
Yeah, the thing about it that was like one of the first days when we were shooting at the Health Club, which is a health club in Brooklyn. I think it was called the St. George's Health Club. And I remember I didn't really have any lines in that scene. So what I did is I started repeating what everybody else said.
And right, like he was saying something, you were like, yeah, you were like backing it up.
Yeah, hey, you want me to go and get sick? Yeah, you want him to go and get sick? What are you, a fucking asshole? Yeah, what are you, a fucking asshole? I just repeated everything. Yep. So that I ended up with more lines than anybody else because I'm repeating everybody's lines. And a lot of our dialogue was improvised in that movie, Toxic Avenger. The scene with me and Jennifer where we have sex, we made that, we're talking about it. We love the blood and all that. We made that up, we made a lot of that up.
Yeah, I'm sure the scene was good. It's like, no problem. You can take your shirt off. That's fine. Oh, it must be good to be an actor, especially when you're working with girls that look like that. Well, I can only imagine. And the question I wanted to ask is, do you remember what school they used to film the high school in Class of Nuke 'Em High? I was trying to place the school.
It was abandoned. It was empty. And recently so like that they hadn't we had permission to trash the place, so we did. You can see it.
Oh yeah, you guys are spray painting the walls.
Yeah, and we're also like ripping up books,
right,
and tossing furniture out the window, and I mean, so yeah.
Where was it though? Was it in New York? Was it Jersey?
It was in New Jersey.
I wonder if it was. Yeah, I'd love to see these locations and figure out where they all are. I mean, anything in Jersey City is gone because it's been so built up. But every time I'm looking at it, I'm trying to place where things are.
It was in New Jersey, and the scene with the monster when it's when it's coming out of that
the toilet,
the canister
thing, right? Yeah,
yeah. Like the oil drum when it's coming out of the oil drum. And I've got Chrissy, I'm holding her hostage with the gun. That was shot in the basement of like some suburban house.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because there was some houses there. I do remember, and I was trying to place it. If it was like, it looked like it was either like Jersey City or maybe even Bayonne.
Yeah.
The one street looks like that. Yeah, and they all blend together down there, so it's hard to tell what's what.
Yeah. Yeah, we shot a bunch of stuff. All the car stuff in Toxic Avenger was also in Jersey.
Where you guys are mowing everybody down, like the kid on the bicycle.
Yeah, that was also in Jersey.
Yeah, that I can the only place I could think of that it would be, judging from what you can see in the background, especially with the skyline, it had to be like Jersey City. But there's nothing down there like that anymore.
Like when I get tossed out of the car and the car wreck with the explosion. Excuse me. Yeah, that was all that was New Jersey.
Yeah, I get. Well, that's the New Jersey's claim to fame. It's New Jersey superhero, Toxie.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Jeff says, question for Rob: was he present on set when Marissa Tomei shot her scene in Toxic?
She was an extra. I don't know that she had a scene.
Yeah, I thought she was just an extra. I don't remember. I have to go back and look for her.
Yeah, I don't remember her. I mean, I think she's a fantastic actress, and I am in total awe and appreciation for her career. I think My Cousin Vinny is a fantastic movie, and she totally deserved her Academy Award.
So deserved it.
Yeah, she was great. I mean, everybody was great in that. Joe Pesci was great. Everybody. Fred Gwynn was great.
Everybody that. Yeah. To this day, it's one of those movies. To me, that there's a criteria of films that fall in a category for me that, like, if it's on, I'm watching it, and that's one of them. I'll sit through it. The Godfathers come on, I sit and watch them. There's movies like that you just have to sit and watch. But I just want to address this. Andy is asking, was ever said where Brett is? I do have a co-host. My friend Brett is usually with me, and he was disappointed, and he said to say hello, but he couldn't be on tonight because it's his daughter's birthday. So shout out to
happy birthday,
Taylor. Yep, it's her birthday, so he'll be watching after the fact. He said that he was disappointed because he was looking forward to meeting you, but it's a little girl's birthday. You got to do what you got to do.
Absolutely.
Yep. Bill says, Bayonne, I know that. Yeah, you played there, didn't you, Bill? Bill, he's in a hardcore band, and I think he said he played there.
Yeah. Class of Nuke Em High featured the Smithereens.
The Smithereens, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Now, they have releases of the soundtrack too, right? Did they have releases of them? I have to look. I was thinking about the other day. I was going to look for it because I was watching them back again because it'd been a minute. I'm like, what if they had this stuff on soundtrack? I would love to pick some of it up.
Yeah.
And who was
the Smithereens at one point were way bigger than Class of Nuke Em High ever was.
Well, back then, yeah, they did that. What was that big thing? Was that Girl Like You? Was that the big song that they had at the time?
They were, they were on MTV a lot.
MTV darlings.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. I'm trying to think of who if they did anything like that. But what was I was just going to say something. I completely forgot what the hell it was now. Shit. I'll forget. There was a question right here though. Say, the guy who played Mr. Paley, wasn't he in a lot of trauma movies? I'm trying to remember, was the principal or mayor? Trying to think who it was. I don't remember the principal or the mayor. I remember the one guy that worked at the nuclear factory, the big heavyset guy that was in a lot of trauma films.
Pat,
and since he's since passed, I know that.
That's right. Yeah. He was great.
He looked like he was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I never had any scenes with him, but I really enjoyed watching him on the screen. I thought he did a great job with with his roles. The mayor in Nuke 'Em High, the the guy with the thinning hair on
Right.
top. Yeah, he was good too. And I think he was also in Toxic Avenger as well.
Was he? I'm trying to think of where he was in that.
I think he was like one of the scientists or something, or one of
I don't
those.
know. I have to go back and look at that. Oh, Bill's pissed because
Not
I
sure.
call his band a hardcore band. He's like, "How dare you? It's a death metal band." And he's asking the question: did you know or meet James Gunn or Jason Green when they spent time at Trauma?
No, no. But Gary met Vincent D'Onofrio.
Was he in the Trauma movie?
He was in Stuck on You, and he was supposed to play Bozo, but then
That would have been fun.
he was
Funny.
cast as Bozo.
Really? Wow.
And Gary was told he didn't have the role, but then Vincent D'Onofrio got that Full Metal Jacket part and backed out of Toxic Avenger, and they brought Gary back.
Wow.
And Gary thinks I auditioned with him too, but I don't remember.
Gary, I mean, he was great in the part, but it's
Oh,
just
Gary's fantastic in this.
he was fantastic. He just played a great psycho. I mean,
Yeah, no, he's and it's kind of funny. We like he's like the alpha, the lead dude in Toxic, but then I'm the lead dude in Nuke 'Em.
right? Yeah, you made it you made it right on the poster. You're right there on the cover on the poster.
Yeah.
That's why when we were talking and you're like, I'm on the poster, I'm like, oh my god, that's you.
Yeah.
It was it was fun, and of course my wife just laughs. When we get down to the Freak Bar next year, I look forward to introducing to my wife, and she'll just tell you. She's like, everywhere he goes, you find somebody like you, and he's just like, and she'll be like, I'm sorry. This is always about everything that's going on in this. It's the horror world, the Halloween world, or whatever. She's like, yeah, we seem to find somebody.
Right.
So it was a fun chance meeting, but it was great.
Yeah.
But one of the things I did want to ask, because I forget if I asked you, is so you've been in a lot of movies. You went behind the camera too as director and cinematographer. So Toxic Avenger was your first on screen. How did you even get involved in it?
In 1983, there used to be an actual newspaper called Backstage that was a print paper, and all the and there were lots of ads in the back for casting notices. And Troma had one. They were calling the movie Health Club Superhero. So I sent them a headshot, and they called me in. And
Were you doing anything before that? Like anything off Broadway, like plays or what?
Yeah, I did plays. I did a few plays. Not very many though, because I moved to New York City January 1st, 1983. And so this might have been my very first gig ever in New York, because plays started coming later. We shot this in the summer, so I was auditioning in the spring. And it's so funny, the audition process was like, this is when the offices were still in Manhattan, the Troma offices, and they were on 9th Avenue in Manhattan. And they had their own townhouse, like 4-story townhouse, and they're on their 3rd floor. And you walk into the room, and there's a desk on, 2 desks facing each other, and you walk in between them. That the door is in between them, so you walk in, and all of a sudden there's they're on both sides, So you get a question from over here, and then he would say something, and turn around, and it was like being in a Pong game, being the Pong in the Pong game, So there was this weird sort of power trip, just from the architecture of how they set up the meeting space, and then they called me into audition, and I just remember auditioning with Jennifer the whole time. And the first 3 times it was with doing lines from the script. And then they started having us do like, and then they put us on camera, but we were doing like promos for other Troma movies, like The First Turn On and Stuck on You, like acting like we'd just seen it and how great it was, and you got to go see this movie.
Nice.
Which they, of course, then used, as promos for their movies. So, but they called it audition, But
Yeah.
basically they were getting free work out of us.
Yeah, yeah, do this, and we'll let you know if it works out. Then all of a sudden, you're like, "Wait a second." You see it on all sorts of advertisement, like, "Huh?"
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, because I was curious. I'm like, "How did you get involved in that?" Because I didn't know, like, if were you pursuing a career in acting? And
Yeah.
usually, most of the time, especially in New York, you always see people usually start on stage before
Yeah.
they really transition into
I, I
film.
I moved to New York with the idea of I was going to be an actor. And and I did do a few plays, and then but before we finished shooting Toxic Avenger, I was already cast in Class of Nuke 'Em High.
Okay,
So I already had another one lined up before the first one was even done. Was wrapped.
that's good to know. Yeah,
Yeah.
because well, at least I know we got a job right after this.
So
Beautiful.
I had a little bit of momentum going, and then I was doing like little off Broadway plays. I ended up doing one off Broadway play. I did some work for MTV. I was in a show called Club MTV.
I remember Club MTV. Yeah.
I was in the first 5 episodes. I was the bouncer in Club MTV for the very first 5 episodes. I remember Grace Slick's daughter was in one of the episodes, and the Fat Boys were in another one of the episodes.
Wow, the Fat Boys. Ooh, I've heard that name in a long time.
They shot it at the old Palladium.
Yeah, I remember the old Palladium. Yeah.
Yeah, on 14th Street. So I did that. What else did I do? Not too much television, but I did some plays, and I did this movie, and then I did a couple more movies for Rich Haynes. I did a movie called Space Avenger. Did another one called Head Games. Uh, uh, and then sort of by the end of the 80s, after I was in the off-Broadway production of Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead with Sir John Wood, Stephen Lang, and John Rubinstein, I was sent on this commercial audition. And this is sort of like what kind of killed acting for me, or professional acting. So I was sent on this audition, and they said, all right, wear a blue polo shirt and some khakis, and you're going to just have a couple of lines. It's for Tic Tacs. And I go into the audition to the room, and there's like 20 guys in there in blue polo shirts and khakis, and they all look related to me. It's like I'm looking at my doppelgangers. And I guess I just went, oh my God, this is a machine I'm not sure I want to be a part of.
That's weird. Imagine that. Oh,
Yeah. And I was like, there's just something, kind of. So then I decided, maybe it'll be, these guys obviously all like this and want this a lot more than I do, because I'm genuinely kind of creeped out by this situation. So I called the agent that sent me, and I said, look, don't send me out anymore. I'm done with this. And I started looking for like more behind the scenes work. That's when we started doing those guerrilla videos after that. That are now on Vinegar Syndrome, the surf reality movies, like Dick and Jane Drop Acid and Die, Alien Sex Phone Psycho, Thrill Kill Video Club, Les Enfants Miserables. We did a bunch. We did like short, like 50-minute movies. So they're not really features, but they're not really that short either. They're sort of in between things.
in between.
And they're all available now at Vinegar Syndrome. They're Surf Reality Movie of the Month. You can get all of them. And then we produced. I co-produced a movie called Cracking Up that my friend Matt Mittler wrote and directed. And that was sort of the culmination. It was his idea to do these movies of the surf reality movies, and so I got proficient with the video camera. Well, at first it was high 8, and then mini DV, and I had a little bit of a career for a while, following comics around to comedy clubs and shooting their sets and editing it down for them, so they had material to send out.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, because I saw you did cinematographer, it said director, and I said, "Oh, that's."
Yeah,
I guess the logical thing was you went behind the camera.
Yeah. So yeah, but I shot Janine Garofalo at Caroline's, Mike Epps, I shot him at comedy clubs, people like that of that quality, Rich.
That would have been cool. Yeah, that sounds like fun. I mean, it's a job, but it sounds like fun.
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah, that's basically, how I've always approached my life is, if it's work, I don't want to do it.
Yeah, it's like if it's not fun, believe me, I get up every day. Like, it's not fun. It's work.
I gotta figure out a way of getting paid for doing what I like to do.
Yeah, tell me about it. I'm still looking for it. I'm trying. It's like, yeah, maybe after retirement that I'll find something that I'll enjoy that I can just have fun with. Friend Bill saying, so I explained to you, yeah, my friend Lurch, who was supposed to come up, his name's Trey, we call him Lurch. He was supposed to come up. I think I mentioned my friend was supposed to come up, but he had gotten hurt. And we were just going to hang out in New York after the Carpenter show. But then since he wasn't coming up, I'm like, you know what? Coney Island's not that far. I said, I've been dying to go check out the Warrior sites, and it worked out well because I got to meet Rob, and I had a blast that day. It was so much fun.
Yeah. One of the authors of that book took down my information too. I think he wants to reach out at some point as well. I think they got something that a podcast or something that they do as well.
Cool. That's awesome.
Yeah. So
let me see if there's anything going on. Speaking of comics, let me watch Eddie Murphy doc. Oh yeah, I've not yet watched the Eddie Murphy doc. Yeah, I got to check it out on Netflix.
Yeah, I want to see that.
Looks good.
I all respect to Eddie Murphy. I mean, what a brilliant actor and comedian. He saved Saturday Night Live at one point.
Oh, he definitely, between him more so than Piscopo, but him and Piscopo saved that second.
And Billy Crystal, but yeah, that they were the second wave.
And this is another one. I saw the John Candy one, the John Candy documentary. Go check. You want to see? Keep some tissues nearby. It's really makes you really feel sad. What a great person he was. Everybody just, there's a whole scene with Bill Murray saying, I'm still trying to figure out something bad to say about that guy, and I can't think of one thing.
Right. Yeah.
So that's a real good one. Let me just see if I'm missing anything in the chat here. To make sure. Maybe I question. Here you go. Rob, do you have a Toxic Avenger Funko Pop? I see they have them now.
No, I don't.
I've not seen it. I mean, they have a Funko Pop for everything these days, so I would assume they have it for Toxic Avenger. I haven't seen it yet. That'd be cool, though.
Yeah.
No. See, this is all great stuff that people could bring to conventions for you guys to sign.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I've signed a lot of Japanese posters.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I love. What's the difference in the Japanese poster versus the regular one? Obviously,
writing on them for one thing.
Besides the writing, but is there anything like different graphics?
The different tableau of the characters. And it's not the Toxic Avenger doing this.
Mm-hmm.
But
that'd be pretty cool. Yeah. Make sure I'm not missing anything around. You have to see the. Oh, but somebody did ask somewhere in the chat. Hold on. Your opinion on Peter Dinklage.
Oh, I think it's great. Here's my takeaway from the new Toxic Avenger, and I'm still trying to figure out who that third actor is. As soon as this is over, I'm going to remember. But here's my takeaway from the new Toxic Avenger: those movie stars have seen me act.
There you go.
Right. Peter Dinklage has seen me act, and so's Robin Williams, because he's actually done a Toxic Avenger joke. He stuck his hand into a chicken one time, and he goes, "Look at just like the Toxic Avenger," and he like fists a chicken. So, yeah, that's my takeaway.
Yeah, like we said earlier, it was a fun watch, but um, I like the different take on it. But yeah, I'll always go back to the first one. And actually, this is true. Jeff's right. Elijah Wood did have an MVP performance in that. He was good
Oh,
in it. You
fantastic.
realize it was him.
Yeah. Oh no, he's amazing. He's emo goth, creep. Is fantastic. He's amazing.
Yeah, it was good stuff. Hold on, what's this? Oh, Cody, a member of the channel, 14 months. Thanks, buddy. Which rival gang is Rob's favorite in the Warriors?
I think probably the girls.
The Lizzies?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? Why not pick a bunch of cute girls instead of a bunch of guys?
Right.
Makeup on with bats? No, I'll take the Lizzies.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, that was great. I was like I said, it was surreal filming some of that stuff. You got to check out the video. It's on this channel that I did of all the stuff that I shot, and it was just so cool. I'm sure you guys get that all the time down there because there's got to be other people just as wacky as me coming down there to see those locations. I was surprised how much Warrior stuff you saw in those gift shops too.
Right. Oh, all the surf shops. You can get vests. You can get you can get t-shirts. You can get blankets. Towels.
I know. I had to get out before I bought all that stuff and got in trouble. I mean,
Warrior shot glasses.
Well, that I did buy. Where the hell is it? I know I just had it out here. No, that's not it. Oh, here it is. Yeah, I did buy the shot glass.
Yeah. So it's all
Yeah, the shirt I got years ago at a con. I actually bought it from Cochise. He was selling them. And the vest I got from Michael Beck, who played Swan, and he actually signed the back of it for me.
Oh, very cool.
It was funny too, but because he had them for sale and he only had the one left. And I said, you know what, I was going to pull the trigger and buy it. And he's like, is there any way you can wait like 2 hours? I'm like, yeah, sure. Why? He's like, I needed to wear it in the group photo with everybody. I'm like, that's fine, no problem. So I'm like, well, it was in the cast. It was in a photo worn by Michael Beck before he sold it to me.
That's fantastic.
Bill says Elijah Wood's remake of Maniac was fantastic as well. It stands side by side with the original for me. Enough differences between the two make them unique. Oh yeah, I mean he was when they said he was going to play Maniac in the remake, I was a little like, yeah, really, Elijah Wood? But he really plays it. He played it well. I don't know if you ever saw the remake. Did you ever see the original Maniac?
No.
With God, help me out in the chat, folks. What's his name? He was in Rocky, and he was in The Godfather.
It was Kevin Bacon who played Bozo in their Toxic.
That was the part. Okay, yeah.
Kevin Bacon. I knew I had it. Yeah, it was him. So I thought he was great in it too.
No, he was. Yeah, he was. Kevin Bacon's been on a roll,
and he refers to his secretary as Julie.
Oh, I didn't pick that up. Yeah.
And
so you picked all that stuff up. I have to go back and rewatch it.
And that's why it makes sense that Cynthia would have been offered a role because they may have wanted her to play that.
Right? Why not? She would have been good as the secretary. That would have been perfect.
She doesn't overtly die in the first one.
No, not at all.
Actually, neither does Wanda.
True. Yeah. True.
She just gets her ass burnt off.
Now, who was? What was? I'm trying to think. Hold on. I know it's here. Before I forget, the girl, Andrea Miranda, who played Sarah, Melvin's girlfriend, the blind girl.
Yeah, that's funny.
Whatever happened to her? Because I used to have the biggest. I'm watching that. She was dynamite looking, beautiful girl.
What's funny? What's come out in the conventions? In the interviews when they in the panel discussions is both Jennifer and Cynthia also read for that role.
Mm-hmm.
Neither of them got that role. They were up for that role first, and then they brought in this. I think she's French.
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't have another. I looked to see she doesn't have like a site, but yeah, Andrea Miranda, because I always watch it for her because I'm like, she was great because she was good slapstick stuff because she's basically hitting them and hurting them because she's blind. Right. But man, young boy in 1984, I'm like, wow, that's a pretty woman.
Yeah.
I mean, they were all pretty, but I don't know. She was just cute as hell.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, do you stay in touch with Toxie at all? The OG Toxie?
No. I mean, the one I've had the most contact with over the years is Gary.
Mhm.
Me and Gary, we've been friends on Facebook for since Facebook began. So 15 years now.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's how we reconnected, actually. Well, also we reconnected because we did commentary for the 30th anniversary of Toxic Avenger. We for the DVD or the Blu-ray,
Mhm.
30th anniversary. Gary and I we did a commentary track for that.
Well, I gotta check it out. Yeah, I gotta pick, especially the 40. I gotta see it in 4K. See how good it looks in 4K.
Yeah.
I mean, because all the Trauma films had that specific look, and you loved it, especially when you see when you see the class of Nuke Em High, and they're showing the high school, and it's got all the toxic factories in the background and everything like that. You always knew it was like a Trauma film, and you just loved it because it was so campy the way it was done.
And they're unapologetic about the matte paintings that they attach to real buildings.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. And it was just the effects were always pretty. I mean, especially the scene where you're running, you guys are hitting the kid with the car, and you back over his head. There was some pretty cool effects.
Yeah,
For that type of film.
The Cynthia and Jennifer sell little miniature Polaroid cameras when they do.
Like when they take the picture of him.
Yeah. So that's something you can get from them. As a team, they call themselves Toxic Angels. Nice. They also have a Facebook page with way more followers than Toxic Punks.
Oh, it's a shame. Yeah. Well, but you guys were a big part of it. But I guess the guys are going to be focused on the chicks. Well, it is. Who isn't? We're all guilty of it.
Yeah, and most horror fans are men, so there's not like a big female contingent, hanging out waiting to see Gary and Rob.
Yeah, and usually when you find those hardcore girls that are like that, you always have to question what's wrong with you. We know what's wrong with us. We're all mental, but. Right. Jeff says, Class of Nuke Em High was his first Trauma film he ever owned on VHS and saw, for that matter. I saw it. I think I probably saw it right after, because growing up where I grew up in New Jersey, we had the video store like up the hill. You go up there, and and back then, as long as you had money, they rented you any film. It's like they didn't care if it was rated R, whatever. As long as you had the money, they didn't care. So I would go in there and look through all the horror section. And I do remember when I saw the Toxic Avenger, I'm like, well, this looks pretty cool, because I hadn't heard of it, and put it on, and I'm like, this is funny as hell. Going to school, tell my friend, I'm like, did you guys watch this movie? I'm like, go rent this movie. And it was great. Cody says, Rob, as a fan, who's your favorite director? You're in great hands talking with this guy, Pat. He's a hell of a guy.
That's true. I'm enjoying the conversation very much. Who's my favorite director? Probably Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue with you there.
You were talking about movies that you just always watch whenever it comes on. Pulp Fiction is a movie like that.
Oh, Pulp Fiction falls into that category too. Easy. When it's on, it's just like comfort food. You can just watch it. Also,
Kill Bill.
Yeah, Kill Bill too. I remember the first one I saw was Reservoir Dogs, and I was like hooked when I first saw Reservoir Dogs.
That's a great film. Yeah.
A friend of mine's like, oh, we're gonna rent this movie, Reservoir Dogs. I'm like, what the hell is that all about? And sat and watched this. I'm like, this movie's awesome. I mean, the whole scene with the late great Michael Madsen, it's just like, this is insane.
Yeah.
To the point where I play guitar. I think I mentioned to you, I play in a cover band, and the band I was playing at the time, I'm like, guys, we have to learn Stuck in the Middle with You and start playing it, because Reservoir Dogs was popular. And I said, people are going to pick up on that. And we used to play it out, and people used to love it.
Yeah. And also, I mean, like Tarantino, he has like a stable of actors, that he constantly, Harvey Keitel and Tim Roth, they show up in a bunch of Michael Madsen, they show up in a bunch of his films. The only other person who also is in my top 5 directors, Wes Anderson is one. Mm-hmm. I love his work. I love Martin Scorsese's work. Francis Ford Coppola. You know, the
Yeah, and they all.
Godfather movies are amazing.
Oh yeah, and they tend to pull, like you said, they tend to use a lot of people because they're familiar working with them. They work well, and things tend to work out a little bit better. It's just like having somebody that's, when it's got to be tough. I mean, I'm not in that world. You even directed before, when you're just working with different people all the time. So if you bring in some of the people you worked with before, it's probably got to be a little bit smoother. I would think that's probably why it happens. It would make sense to me.
Yeah.
Like even Jeff says, I always like when directors try to keep a core group. That even dates back to Carpenter in a way, because we're big. That's my favorite director. I'm a big John Carpenter fan, obviously, because of Halloween and whatnot. But same thing. There's always a lot of people he uses, and it's got to be. I would think it'd be easier, a little bit smoother, rather. I should say.
You know what you're getting.
Yeah.
You're
not starting fresh.
Yeah.
Ryan says, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is getting that way for him too. We've watched it numerous times recently. Yeah, it's one of those movies where if it's on, you just watch it.
Yeah.
And he says, never seen it, but what is Tromeo and Juliet about? I've heard of it, but I've not seen it.
I haven't seen it either.
Yeah, I know it's in the Troma arsenal.
I think it's their version of Romeo and Juliet.
I forgot about it. I remember seeing it somewhere in a list of like movies and as soon as you see Tromeo, it's a Troma film. And you can only imagine what Lloyd did with with Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah.
Joshua says one of my Tarantino's one of his favorites too. We have a copy of the Grindhouse book signed by Tarantino, Robert Rodriguez, Rose McGowan, Rosario Dawson, and Freddie Rodriguez. Nice.
Yeah, I love Robert Rodriguez's first 3 movies, those Desperado movies.
Mm-hmm.
They're great. The first one he did as a film student at University of Texas. That's an amazing movie.
Yeah, he's. Some of the stuff he's done has just been. There's that whole arsenal of directors that just came out like around the time with Tarantino.
Yeah,
and it was great because the different filming style, you could pick it up right away the way they were filming, and you're like, this is different. It's interesting, keeps you engaged, and I was loving. He's just great. Quentin Tarantino, John Carpenter, Joe Dante, Steven Spielberg would make up Bill's personal Mount Rushmore of directors.
I just saw Poltergeist again after 40 years because I'd seen it in the theater and then I just watched it again like 2 weeks ago, and it really held up.
Oh, it holds up. Yeah, I mean, did you see the remake?
No.
It's not the worst thing I've ever seen, but it's one of those things. Once you see it, like, all right, I've seen it.
Right.
And you move on. Yeah, because sometimes you see some remakes that are wow, they knock your socks off. Like to me, like we do a lot of things on here, like our typical podcast where we like rank stuff, and we'll come up with like say what's your favorite remakes, or what remakes do you think are better than the original? And there's some out there, like The Blob. I love The Blob.
The Blob remake is amazing.
It's amazing. Or The Fly. I mean, come on, The Fly is amazing. There's so many that you can say. You know what? That's actually I pick that.
There were some movies in the 80s that like really still hold up, like Reanimator and Night of the Comet.
Yeah, we just watched Night of the Comet the other day. We do watch-alongs on here where we get it together with a group of people, but we just go live and we just talk about, look, this is where we're watching it, watch it with us, and we comment on it and talk about it. And we just Night of the Comet last week because we're big fans. Love it.
That's a great movie. Could you imagine remaking that, say like with Woody Harrelson?
Well, they've just been talking about it for a while now, and I guess it's just white noise.
That one would. Oh, Weird Science was a great film.
Oh, love me some Weird Science.
Right?
That movie was El Mariachi. That's the one.
El Mariachi, right? The first Desperado. That was terrific. That was fantastic. And then the second one, called Desperado, that one was really good too. With Steve Buscemi, right? Where he sits down in the bar talking about this
one
guy's
of my favorite actors. He just blends in so well. Yeah. Everything he's in. Still to this day, I tell everybody, like, you want to go see a dark movie, go watch what the hell is the movie he was in? What's the one where his mother's dead and he pays to have her brought back to life?
Oh no.
And it's such a B movie, but he makes it so hysterical. Help me out in the chat because I'm having a senior moment too, and I love it. It's basically he lives with his mother. She dies. He inherits all this money, and this company finds out that he inherits this money, and they want to obviously take his money. And they have this thing where they can reanimate them, but sort of like Pet Sematary. When they come back, they don't come back the same.
Right. Yeah. And they come back twisted.
And like his mother is like, she's got to eat bugs to stay alive. She sleeps in the refrigerator. It's just Ed and his dead mother. Ed and his dead mother. That's
Oh
the name of it.
wow. Yeah, I don't even know about that movie.
That was the first time I saw Steve Buscemi, because it's probably from the mid to late 80s. Go watch it, and you're gonna be you could laugh. You're really gonna laugh. And then I started seeing him in different movies after that, and he's just so much fun.
Yeah.
See, I've never watched the Weird Science TV show.
Yeah, I never saw that either. I just, but the movie's fantastic.
Oh, the movie you can't. It's just one of our favorites, and
see, like that and Reanimator would make a great double feature.
Yeah, Reanimator is one of my favorites. I love it because I've just had the biggest unholy crush on Barbara Crampton since I saw it.
Yeah.
Between that and was it From Beyond that she was in? Is that the other one? Yeah, I think that's it. I'm drawing a blank. Because I tell people all the time, I'm usually good with facts. You know, when you watch, it's like when you're on a game show and you're watching people and you know all the answers, like you're yelling at them. You're like, come on, there's the answer. But then when you're doing something like this, I call it podcast cloud. You completely forget shit.
Right.
That you would always normally know. Yeah. Ed's Dead Mother. Yeah. Go. If people haven't seen it, I recommend it highly. Go check it out, especially if you like him.
No, I think he's fantastic. Yeah, I actually ran into him a few times before he was famous.
Well, he was a fireman, right?
Right. I ran into him when he was a fireman. Because I used to work the door for this nightclub on Avenue A called the Pyramid. I would take money and IDs, and we had a policy of comping cops and firemen. And they and his station house, his crew would come all the time. Mm-hmm. He was part of the group that would come in all the time. This is like 1983, 1984. So I'm pretty sure I ran into him a few times then. Because I made friends with a guy who stayed in the fire department, retired as a lieutenant, and and he told me, oh yeah, Steve was with us all the time when we would come to the club,
Yeah, because it's funny because you look at him, I don't know, he just doesn't look like a fireman. He just doesn't give the fireman vibe.
No, but he's a fantastic human being.
Yeah. I've heard nothing but good things about him. He does a lot of stuff. I remember the stories about him coming and helping out in 9/11.
Yeah.
Andy says, do you guys have cast reunions?
Yeah, we do at Comic Cons, at the horror cons. We do. We did one we just did one in Strongville, Ohio. At the Creature Feature. Was it called Creature Feature Weekend? What the fuck was this thing called? I forget the name of it. But yeah, we just did one then. We did another one in Worcester, Massachusetts last January. Dead of Winter HorrorCon.
Mm-hmm.
We're all there for that. So
I'm hoping, they really put the bug in everybody's butt about next year for Class of Nuke Em High, because that'd be fun.
Yeah, we'll I think we're definitely going to be doing Haunting in the Hills sometime next year. That's for sure, for Class of Nuke Em High. Definitely me and Gary, maybe Jennifer and a few more will be there too. But I know Gary and I are going to go.
Yeah, that'd be fun, a lot of fun. I would definitely take a trip for that. Andy says, Robert, may I say I love your room setup? I guess you got a lot of vinyl behind you.
Vinyl, boys.
Yeah, years ago, I had sold a lot of my vinyl off, and then the ones I did keep, I gave to my son, because it's funny, within the last 10 years, this younger generation loves vinyl.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, that's about half of my original record collection. My daughter and her boyfriend have the other half now.
Yeah, that's it. We pass it on. Like I wasn't using it. My son got really into it, and he used to like to go to I take him to the record shows, and anytime we went anywhere, like he came to a lot of the horror conventions, and a lot of people would have records there. So I said, you know what? My daughter could give a crap, so she didn't take it. I gave it all to my son, so he's got all my records. So, but it's great how the younger generation just fell in love with vinyl.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a beautiful warm sound. It seemed like for a while the fidelity of the music that people were listening to seemed to be, getting squashed, turning it into MP3s. Nobody, when I was a young person, having a really good sounding audio system was important.
Oh yeah, people don't realize it.
It was crucial. And now it feels like, people just have these little portable speakers and the sound is really compressed and nobody cares anymore. Our relationship to music has changed, especially since streaming. We used to own the music. We used to own it,
Mm-hmm.
And we'd make mixtapes for our friends or mix CDs even,
Yep.
And so the relationship was a lot more intimate. It's a lot different when you just rent it.
And people, this generation doesn't understand, because I was told my kids a story about when I got my first job. I got my first job in 1984 because I wanted to buy a stereo, because the stereo I had was shit.
Right.
I wanted the nice sounding, like, because remember when they started coming out with the rack units, like the big Sony units or Fisher, and you had the whole, I'd see these big rack units at these stores, and I'm like, man, but these big ass speakers.
Yeah.
That's, my father's like, well, does your stereo work? I go, it still works. He's like, well, then I'm not buying you one. Go get a job, save your money, and buy one. And that's what I did. That's when I wanted to get my first job, was to save and buy a stereo. My kids like, a stereo? Really?
And now today, even by streaming standards, Spotify sounds like shit.
Everything's compressed.
Yeah, it's just awful. But I put I got a nice stereo in the other room. I got a $700 turntable, and so the records sound good.
Sounds amazing. Vinyl. Yeah. I'm right there with you.
My CD player is a really good one too, and my CDs sound good. It's really warm. It's rich. It's like they're playing in the room with you. It's not this tinny compressed thing.
I actually, this whole area here, up until about last week, was all wall-to-wall CDs. I have about probably close to 1,000, but I needed the wall space for all this crap that I have here. I have no room left, so I put them in the other room.
There's my CD.
That's what you saw over here. Exactly what you saw here. Rows of CDs.
Yeah, those are my CDs. Yeah. So there's probably about 700 or 800 there.
Yep. I just moved everything because I needed the room. But Bill, my buddy Bill, lives in Chicago, and I went to Flashback last year and met up with him. And my partner Grime, said they're currently booking in Chicago. Should have a representative reach out to Mike and Mia Kurtz, who does the convention, about a 40th reunion for you guys.
Okay. I'll Mike and Mia Kurtz at Flashback Weekend in Chicago. Thank you for the heads up.
Why not? I mean, it's a perfect opportunity to do it. Get a bunch of people together. Hey, sell some merch. Like, I went to my buddy and I, when I got all this, we went to Chiller Theater. I'm sure you've heard of Chiller Theater. Did you ever hear the Chiller Theater conventions? Because they've been around forever.
No,
they're always in New Jersey. They never had any over in New York. They're always in northern New Jersey, and they had a huge Warriors reunion where they pretty much had everybody that was still alive at there, and that's how I got the vest and I got the shirt. And my buddy came in from Chicago, my other friend Brett, who does the podcast with me, my co-host, and because he's more of a signature guy, like he gets posters signed and stuff signed. I'm not a big signature guy. I just want to meet people, and I'm more about just collecting the stuff. And the only signatures I really have are people from the movie Halloween. That's it, because that's my favorite thing. And I just finally put the cherry on the topping when I met you that weekend, and finally got Carpenter after all these years.
All right,
the curmudgeon himself.
All right, man. I think I'm going to wrap it up.
Yeah, I told you. You tell me when you're good, because it's been it's been hour 15 already. Holy crap!
Trying to get near my bedtime.
no worries at all. I told you. I said, look, you tell me when you need to go, and that's cool. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you.
I got your number. Like I said, as soon as this cold weather comes and goes, I know we'll be out there, because I want to come down to that bar and hang out again and check out the show.
Okay.
Is there anything you want to tell anybody? You want to plug anything? Anything you're doing? Anybody can look out for? I will throw.
But email me the link for this podcast, and I'll put it up on our Facebook page.
Will do.
a Toxic
Absolutely.
Punk thing, so that people can, so that our followers can check it out.
Absolutely. I would do it as soon as I get off. Absolutely.
All right.
All right,
And
Rob. So
thanks for
thanks
having
again for
me
coming
on.
on. And everybody, thanks again for hanging out in chat. I appreciate all the questions. Everybody hanging out. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all that shit that all these YouTubers say. I'm used to saying all that stuff. And are you jumping off? Or you have a minute to just say goodbye off camera?
Sure, I can say
Yeah,
that.
you hang out for a second. We'll say a quick goodbye. Everybody, thanks again. We'll be back on Tuesday night. We do watch alongs. Tuesday night, we're doing Hello Mary Lou prom night too. So, folks, make sure you tune in Tuesday night for that one.
Cool.
That's one of my favorites from the 80s.
All
So,
right.
folks, thanks again. And thanks to Rob. And I'll say goodbye to you after this. Everybody, have a great week. See you soon.